Thought I was your only vato. Hey baby, ¿qué pasó? Won't you give me un beso? Come on baby, turn around. Ooh, yeah. Let me show you how I feel. Don't you know?
Yep, it's good.
Now it's good. Happy birthday.
Hey?
Does Adam want to do a little intro? Yeah, do a little speech.
Well, you know, it's my birthday. Figured what's the best thing to do? Go to a beer factory. Not just any one, we're doing a stove.
So Adam's here with his bros and it smells like
Wheat and
wheat.
yeah, rotten wheat and hops.
Alright guys, come on in if you want. If you want to stand there, then stand there.
We can get up in there.
You can do whatever you want. It's all good. My name is Brad. I'll be your tour guide. Show you guys around, we'll hang out, talk about beer, have a good time, all that good stuff. And then after everything, we'll hang out some more and drink some beer. So it's a good time. While we're in here, there really is only one thing that we ask of you guys, and that is that you don't touch anything. It's really, really important. You know, this is an industrial facility. All these buttons do things, and if you touch them, it probably won't be good. I don't mind questions at all. That's like my job, is to talk about beer. So if you have any questions about the process, or anything I'm explaining, or something I didn't say, and you're curious about it, whatever, you know, just ask me. I don't mind at all. I'd rather talk about what you guys are interested in, so, you know, just let me know. And other than that, that's really it, and, you know, we'll hang out. So, has anyone been here before? Any return visitors? Cool. You guys, welcome back. If you haven't been here before, welcome. Thanks for coming to hang out. We're just one of many, many breweries in the area. San Diego County has a ton of breweries in it, over 50 right now, and about 25 more in planning. So there are a ton of breweries in the area. That's a great thing, you know, lots of great beer to drink and cool people to hang out with. It's awesome, you know, we're all really good friends. Craft beer is a lot different than other industries. It's not really based on competition or anything like that. You know, I'm not here to tell you that we're the best in the world and you shouldn't support any of these other breweries, because that's not true at all. You should go support all these other great breweries. I mean, I'm not even wearing a Stone shirt today, and that's okay. I'm wearing a Port Brewing shirt because I like them. They make good beer. They're local. And they're some friends of ours. So, whatever. We're all good friends. We all are in it for the same reason, and that's not like we like beer, and we want to make good beer. You know, there's over 50 in San Diego, over 2,000 craft breweries in the U.S. But what's crazy is with all these breweries that are popping up, it's still such a small portion of all the beer that's sold out there in the world. You know, in the U.S., craft beer only makes up 5% of the entire beer market. That is it. So that means 95% of the beer that's sold out there is pretty much controlled by two people, and they make the same exact beers, and then they put different names on them. We don't have any interest in making any beers like that at all, and we don't, and neither do any of these other 2,000 great craft breweries are out there. Neither do any of those 50 great breweries in San Diego. Because of that, that's probably one of the reasons that we're only 5% of all the beer that's sold out there. We make beers that, you know, are not necessarily all that approachable to a lot of people, but we really don't care. We make beer that we like, and if you guys like it too, that's great. And if you don't, oh well, more for us. That's kind of how we feel about it. We just make beer that we like. You know, we're doing this because we like to, and if other people like it too, then that's really awesome, and you know, we can enjoy it together. And if you don't, then that's your problem, I guess. So that's for you. You're missing out. But we're all really good friends. We all hang out together. We all brew together, drink together. You know, if you go to another brewery, they're pretty much going to tell you the exact same thing. They're going to ask you what other breweries you've been to, or what other breweries you plan on going to. And we're all really, really good friends. You know, if you have any questions about other breweries that are in the area, ask me after the tour. I would be glad to point you in the right direction. You can drive an hour and hit 50 breweries. So there's definitely some breweries to check out in the area. We've been a brewery for 16 years now, since 1996. So a pretty long time. We did not start the size that we're at now at all. You know, this has been a long time in work. And, you know, we're currently the 11th largest craft brewery in the U.S. and the largest craft brewery in Southern California. It's pretty nuts. Definitely did not start that way at all. We've been in our current facility here for 6 years. This is a 55,000 square foot brewing facility. For the first 10 years of our business, we were down the road about 5 minutes in San Marcos in a 7,000 square foot facility. And what's really cool though is you guys can still go there today. It's not Stone Brewing Company anymore. Now it's Port Brewing or the Lost Abbey. Those are some of our really, really good friends, and when we moved out of there, we sold our equipment and space to them so that they could start a brewery. Really, really nice popping up every single week, and it's pretty cool. Lots of great beer to be had, like I said. So we've been here 6 years, 55,000 square feet. When we moved into this facility, I'm pretty sure we thought that we would be good forever in this space, and we never thought that we would fill it out. But we were very wrong about that. I think we underestimated all of you guys, actually. Because right now we're in a very unique position, and that's that you guys all drink more beer than we can physically produce. We can't keep up. You guys drink too much. But it's okay. I'm not here to judge you guys. It's totally fine. We don't mind at all. The more you drink, the more beer we get to make, and then everybody's happy. So right now, we're in the process of building a brand new 59,000 square foot facility to go along with this one. And that's going across the street. You saw it in the parking lot. It just got started being built yesterday. There's already 4 walls. Pretty crazy. We're building pretty quickly. And that's where we're going to be moving on all of our packaging stuff to make even more beer. So it's pretty nuts. The cool thing about beer, though, regardless of how much of it you're making, whether you're making it at home, anybody here at homebrew? Any homebrewers? Yeah, cool. So whether this guy's making it 5 gallons at a time on his stove, or we're doing it thousands of gallons at a time here in our production facility, it's exactly the same. Making beer only requires 4 ingredients, and the process does not change whether you do it a gallon at a time or 4,000 gallons at a time. To make beer, you need 4 things. All you need is water, malted barley, hops, and yeast. And those 4 things will make you beer. That's pretty simple. What's really cool about craft beer in particular is we don't like to only pay attention to those 4 ingredients. We like to do whatever we want. Here at Stone, we make beers with vanilla beans, chipotle peppers, coffee, chocolate, coconut. Anything you want can go into a beer. There's a great local brewery called Ballast Point. They make a beer called Sculpin, which is a great IPA. And then they do a version of that with habaneros. Why not? You can literally do anything you want with the beer. There's no limitations. That's pretty cool. The majority of the stuff that we make on a regular basis, though, it does just focus on the basic 4 ingredients. Each one of those ingredients plays their own important role in making beer. But when they come together, they combine, you can make beer out of those 4 ingredients. That's pretty important. So this stuff right here, water, really, really, really important for beer. The finished product of beer is actually around 90% water. Depending on what kind of beer you drink on a regular basis, that might be a disappointment to you. If you drink Colorado Kool-Aid, that's like no big deal. But for us, the beer that we like to drink, when you find out that's 90% water, that's probably kind of a bummer. But it's actually a huge benefit. Water is liquid. This right here, Stone IPA, it's all those ingredients, but it's 90% water, which is liquid. When you have something that's 90% liquid, you can drink it. Like that. So every time you drink a beer, be thankful for water, because otherwise you'd be chewing all these ingredients. That's not as fun. So this stuff right here, malted barley, also really, really important for our beer. Gives us sugar, and that's how we get alcohol and carbonation, because beer is a fermentable beverage. Every fermentable beverage in the world has a sugar source. Wine uses grapes, tequila uses agave, rum uses sugarcane, but good beer, quality beer, craft beer uses malted barley. All this is a cereal grain. You are literally making beer from cereal. That's the truth. I'm not exaggerating that at all. All this is barley that's in every cereal in the world, soaked in water, so it wants to sprout and germinate, and as a result, you have all these enzymes and sugars inside it starting to go crazy. We don't want those to leave that barley. We want them to stay inside of there, so we dry it out, or malt it, and then inside of this grain, you have all these sugars that are just waiting to be reactivated. And when you reactivate them in the brewing process, you get all the sugars that you need to make beer. You get alcohol and carbonation. So that's really, really important. Along with providing you the sugars you need for alcohol and carbonation, this ingredient gives you color and flavor. So this stuff right here, it's called pale malt. It's your base malt. Regardless of what your finished product of beer looks like, whether it's light or dark, it starts with this stuff right here. This is about 90% of all the malted barley we're using in a beer. Pale malt. But just like coffee, there's different roasts of that barley that are going to influence your color and flavor of your beer. So pale malt is like a light roast. Caramel malt is like a medium roast. And chocolate malt is like a dark roast. And those are all going to influence the color and the flavor of your beer. So if you have like an amber ale, it's utilizing some of that caramel malt along with that pale malt. If you have a stout, a porter, a black IPA, it's utilizing this chocolate malt along with that pale malt. And that's how you achieve that color. However, a darker beer is not higher in alcohol, not higher in calories, not more filling, or anything like that. If you say I don't like dark beer, that's not a valid statement at all. Saying I don't like like dark beer holds the same amount of weight as saying I don't like dark food. There's a lot of things in that category, and they can all taste very, very different. You can have a dark beer that tastes like a cup of coffee. You can have a dark beer that tastes like chocolate. You can have a dark beer that's extremely bitter. It really just depends on how you use that ingredient. But saying I don't like dark beer pretty much eliminates all these great beers out there that you might actually like, and you just don't try them because of the way they look. That seems pretty silly.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Just try everything. I mean, what do you got to lose? The worst thing that could happen is you tried a beer and you didn't like it, but then you still got to drink beer, so it's not really that bad. So talking about that malted barley, I'll pass it around for you guys to munch on. Little hole here on the side, shake a couple kernels out. Go for it. Eat this stuff. It actually tastes really, really good. If you've ever had grape nut cereal before, then you've eaten exactly what this is before. Because all grape nut cereal is malted barley. This is exactly the same thing. That's what you make beer out of. So pass a couple kernels around. Go for it. Yes. You can flick that one off your hand. Whatever. Oh, good job. All right. So what you do when you eat that is actually a really, really important process in making beer. That's converting a starch into a sugar. So as it is, it's a starch. When you eat it, your teeth crack through that hard outer shell, exposing the inside of it, allowing your saliva to go in there and reactivate all the sugars that got put on hold when that stuff got dried out.
I need
So you'll notice
beer.
the longer you chew on it and the more spit you get inside of it, the sweeter it's going to get. So it doesn't start off very sweet, but the more you chew on it, the sweeter it's going to get. That's how you get all the sugars activated in the brewing process so that you can make beer. We do the same exact thing here. Instead of all of that barley in that big white box back there, it's called our grist mill. Does the same exact thing that your teeth did, cracks it all open, sends it up this big blue grain elevator, across that conveyor belt, and we'll dump anywhere from 6,000 to 10,000 pounds of that stuff at a time into this container right here called our mash tun. That's where we make mash. And we're basically doing the same thing that your saliva did. We're pouring hot water on top of that cracked barley to reactivate all the sugars. We make what's called mash. Essentially, we're making like a porridge. So if you ate oatmeal for breakfast, all you did was pour hot water on top of cracked oats. Here we pour hot water on top of cracked barley. It's the exact same thing. All you're doing is taking a cereal grain, pouring hot water on top of it, and making like a porridge. So before beer is beer, it's breakfast.
Yeah.
That's the truth. So in here, we have all the sugars activated. We want to take off all the properties of that barley, the color, the sugar, and the flavor, and infuse it all into one liquid in order to turn it into beer. And in order to do that, what we have to do is send it all over here to this guy. This is called a lauter tun right here.
But it's not.
And this is just a big strainer where we separate our solids and liquids, and it works the same exact way that a coffee maker works. When you make coffee, all you're doing is taking cracked or ground up coffee beans, pouring hot water over it to extract all the properties of the coffee bean. Here all we're doing is putting all that grain in there and rinsing that off to extract all the properties of the grain, the color, the sugar, and the flavor. And we infuse all of that into one liquid that we call wort. W-O-R-T. That's what this is right here. It's kind of like a barley tea. All the properties of barley are in one liquid. This is what you turn into beer. This is not beer. It doesn't have alcohol. It doesn't have carbonation. It doesn't taste very good. If you drink it, it's just going to taste like cereal. Because all it is cereal juice. That's what you're making beer out of. Today we're doing Stone IPA. This is Stone IPA wort. And this is Stone IPA. They look very, very similar because they are very, very similar. This has all the grains that are in Stone IPA, but it doesn't have any hops or yeast yet to make it beer. We do not make sugar water here. We're a brewery. We make beer. And in order to do that, there's a couple steps we need to take. First thing we do is we send all that wort over here to this tank. That's called our boil kettle. Does anybody want to take a boil? Yes. Boils. Good job. All right. Yeah. So we're going to boil our wort in there, 220 degrees, 70 to 90 minutes. Make alarms go off. And basically what's going to happen is that's boiling water, wort right there is going to burn off bacteria, burn off hop flavors, and while that wort is boiling, we introduce our next ingredient. Something we are huge, huge fans of here at Stone. Hops. We love hops here at Stone. Hops do a whole lot for your beer. They're going to make it bitter. They're going to make it flavorful, aromatic. And they also act as a natural preservative. This is what they look like when they grow on the vine, because they're just a flower. They look like this when they grow. When we use them, they're pelletized. We get all those flowers all ground up, put into a really concentrated pellet. These are way, way easier for us to use. So they are a bittering agent, but they're also extremely aromatic. So I'll pass them around for you guys to see how aromatic they are. So you can smell them. They smell amazing. But I'm going to warn you all that they do not taste amazing. If you want to eat it, I'm not going to stop you. Feel free. But you probably won't be too happy with the result. So it's up to you guys. You guys are all dump them into that boiling wort right there. That boiling wort will extract all the bittering qualities of those hops. That means the aroma and the flavor associated with that aroma. That comes from addition of hops at the very end.
leftover
that
barley
little piece right there. That's called finishing hops. Those give us flavor and aroma. When all is said and done, we've completed this process right here. It's taken us around 6 hours or so, and it's produced us 4,000 gallons of this stuff right here, which has 3 of the 4 ingredients of beer. It's water, malted barley, hops, all in one liquid that you can turn into beer. And 4,000 gallons of it is a lot, but on our scale, that's nothing at all. We actually run this guy 3 times back to back in order to fill up 1 fermentation tank. So 6 to 8 hours per batch, 3 batches for 1 tank. We're brewing 24/7. That's a lot. And this guy wants attention, that's why he ate a hop pellet. So if you guys want to see what regret looks like, just pay attention to this guy for the next 20 minutes or so, because everything will taste like that for the next 2 hours.
It looks like gerbil food.
Yeah, and then everything will taste like that now. So enjoy your hop air, your hop beer, your hop lunch. Everything will taste like hops. So that's cool. I've done it before too. It's not that big of a deal. It just tastes interesting. So we got all of our wort here, 4,000 gallons of it. We do 3 batches, 6 to 8 hours a batch. So that means we are brewing 24/7.
It reminds me of
never stop brewing here.
animal
We can't. We can barely make enough beer as it is. So we're brewing around the clock to try to keep up with the amount of beer that we need to make. And at this point,
It's like a stage.
we have sugar water that we're going to turn into beer. So pretty much this whole process right here makes the sugar water from that grain, and then we add hops to it. And it takes a really long time, and we make a lot of it.
Mama, Baba
Yeah. So if there's any questions about ingredients, process, whatever,
I know Babushka,
let me know if you have any questions.
but now you're Baba Ganoush.
Where are the hops from? So the majority of the hops that we're getting here come from
I mean, I can Mama
Valley,
Catilda
Washington
and make
State.
it Jewish.
That's where the majority of the hops come from. However, you can get hops from all
And if I want to cover the rest of
all
the hops, I'll just call you like, I don't know,
France,
Falafel.
from Japan. Really just depends on what we're looking for.
You want to be green, we'll call you Giro.
We do have a farm as well, yeah. In our farm, we're mainly growing produce, vegetables.
Baba Ganoush,
25% of all the veggies actually used in the restaurant come from
Baba
our
Ganoush.
farm. And we grow a little bit of hops here on site, but mainly just for like experimental small batch brews, not enough to do a production here with. So, but our farm is mainly used for growing, vegetables and things like that. But yeah, we own our own farm too. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's actually out in
Any
the
other
wine
questions?
country.
So in any 24-hour period, we're going to brew 1 style of beer because it's just how long it takes. But we just installed the second brew house actually. That's what this is called right here. It's called the brew house. That makes you all your work. We just installed an identical one. So right now we can actually do 2 styles at a time if we need to. So yeah, pretty cool. So we're working on it, but right now it's going to be 1 style per 24-hour period.
How much do you get in a 24-hour period?
We get 4,000 gallons a batch. So 3 batches, 12,000 gallons. Yeah. Yep. A lot of
I
beer.
want to go swimming in that. I want to be drunk for the biggest. I want to absorb it in my blood.
So our number 1 seller is Stone IPA.
Well, there are
That's about
some beers that they
45%
use
of
that are
everything that we make, actually. So we're pretty much always making Stone IPA.
Because of the barley
Then we have
and all that.
scheduled releases, which we're brewing for.
Like, I've heard of people soaking up
once a year, around the same time of year. We know when we need to brew those.
Yeah.
And then other things we're brewing in terms of orders and things like that. So it's kind of a combination of the two. Really just depends on what's needed. But yeah. Any other questions I can answer for you guys? So Stone Brewing Company employs about 500 people right now.
That's pretty small.
That's not all right here. We have an off-site warehouse for distribution. We have an off-site
really isn't
kitchen.
much.
We have an off-site headquarters. We have sales reps all over the world. So about 500 about right now. We still have around
The
19
11th
positions
biggest in the
available.
United States.
So pretty crazy. Yeah.
You got distribution, sales, marketing, accounts receivable, accounts
All right, cool. So
payable.
at this point, we have this wort, the sugar water with hops. We want to turn it into beer.
I mean,
So
unless
we
they
use
have
this
one
into
top
a
of it,
fermentation
you can
tank.
handle it all.
That's where fermentation happens and allows that wort to
And then
turn
you have-
into beer.
then you have your,
So what we're going to do is
your
dump a
sales-
bunch of yeast in there with that wort. That yeast is going to start the
Probably
process
have
of
to go to
fermentation.
other, like-
And as a result, something pretty cool happens. You send over sugar water, and when the process of fermentation is done, we have beer. So follow me around the corner, and I'll explain how that all happens.
Baba Ganoush. See, now at least you know you like some stone beer.
Hang out by these barrels, just leave that wall thing. Between those barrels and those bags with harbor lights open. Other than that, you were free to hang out in this area right here. It's totally cool. If you need any water, please help yourself to some water right over there. If you need to use a restroom, there's restrooms on either side for you guys to use as well. So
Barrel
if you need to
type,
take advantage of
perfect.
either of those things, please feel free. Yeah. But other than that, just hang out by these barrels. Just leave that walkway right there in between them open. Yeah. All right, cool. So right here, this is a fermentation tank. This is where fermentation happens, and that's super, super important in the beer making process, because that's what makes you beer. Over there we make wort, sugar water. Here we're turning all that wort into beer. So what we do is we pump 3 batches from our brew house in here, 4,000 gallons a batch. That's 12,000 gallons of wort that we're turning into beer. That is a ton of beer. It's a ridiculous amount, actually. It's the equivalent of about a 6-pack a day for 65 years in one tank. And we have about 40 of them, so that's a lot of beer. And when we complete our expansion, we're gonna get around 30 more tanks. So it's pretty nuts. So we do, pump all that wort into there, dump a bunch of yeast in there. That yeast eats all those sugars, turns them into alcohol and carbonation, and gives you beer. From there, we take that beer out, and we're ready for packaging. Kegging is right over there. We do about 600 to 1,000 kegs a day. That's about 1/3 of our beer. The other 2/3 of our beer gets sent over to our bottling line where we bottle that beer. A very small portion of it, if it's not kegged or bottled, it goes into a barrel, which is what's right behind you there, for a process called barrel aging. And what we're going to do is get some barrels that you sold, like bourbon, red wine, whatever, scotch, rye whiskey, all that good stuff. Put some beer in there and let the beer absorb the flavor of whatever used to be inside of that barrel. And the beer will sit in that barrel for anywhere from 6 months to 2 years, just picking up all that flavor. So, pretty cool thing to do. And then from there, you know, we send the beer out to you guys to enjoy. The bottling line is what we'll check out next, but before we head over there, if there's any questions about the fermentation process or anything, let me know. Yeah. How many barrels do we have? We have a couple hundred right now. Most of them are off-site. We have a barrel warehouse where we keep all that stuff. So these were just filled recently. That's why they're still hanging out here. But they're going to be taken off-site pretty soon while they hang out.
Those going to be bottled?
We will bottle a small portion of that stuff. What's in those barrels, we're releasing. So those will sit in that barrel for about a year. So the one that sat in the barrel from last year is actually being released in bottles tomorrow. And that's called Crime and Punishment, and those are 2 absolutely insane beers. One is Double Bastard Ale aged in bourbon barrels with a bunch of chili peppers. The other is Lucky Bastard Ale aged in bourbon barrels with a bunch of chili peppers. And I'm not playing around when I say a bunch of chili peppers. I'm talking like hot sauce hot. There's Scotch bonnets in there, Thai chilies, habaneros. It's nuts. And it's insanely spicy. But if you're into that kind of thing, it's a pretty cool beer to try. We'll release that in bottles tomorrow morning when we open. So if you're interested in trying it, come back at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning and you can buy a bottle. It's going to be pretty nuts. So, yeah. If there's any other questions I can answer, you know, just let me know. All right, cool. We'll go check out our bottling line. I'll lead the way around the corner here. We'll go check out our bottling line. Follow me around the corner. When you get around the corner there, there's going to be forklifts and stuff like that possibly driving by, so it's really important to pay attention to what's around you. That's why when you go over there, you want to hang out on your right-hand side by all those pallets of stuff and stay out of the way of dangerous things. So follow me around the corner, and we'll go check that out.
Pretty badass.
Yeah.
Wait, you like a ninja? Super.
But still one of those barrels.
Yeah, see, I'm too pretty for prison. That wouldn't work well.
Dude, I want to get some bottles of that beer.
I bought a growler.
The new release?
The espresso?
The espresso?
Yeah.
Good?
It's a sublime ruination, I think. Espresso bean.
Oh.
Hanging against those pallets will give them room to do so. And yeah.
I think they just released it today.
Guys, so if I could have you move further down actually, so that whole crowd right there, move on down here so we can let this guy get through on his forklift.
This is like
and get you guys the beers that you enjoy so much.
Yeah.
Alright, thanks guys. Alright, so this is our bottling line right here. This is where we bottle all of our beer. Very, very important to us. Very, very important to you. We bottle a ton of beer and we do it very, very quickly. Each one of those pallets right there behind you, they hold 60 cases of empty bottles of beer, which all need to be filled up. We'll get through that entire pallet, have it out the door in about 5 minutes. Yeah, we bottle at the rate of over 20 cases per minute here at Stone. And we simply just line all those boxes next here to the line, throw the cases down onto the line, they get wheeled around the corner, bottles get picked up, rinsed and sanitized, and they're ready for filling. We have 2 fillers, a 12-ounce filler and a 22-ounce filler. The 12-ounce filler will do about 500 bottles a minute, and the 22-ounce filler will do about 300 bottles a minute. That's really, really fast. So after we bottle them all up, drop them back into the cases they came out of, repalletize it, send it out that door right there onto a refrigerated truck, drive it about 5 minutes down the road to our off-site cold box. The beer will sit in that 25,000 square foot refrigerator for a day or so, and then be sent off to any of the 37 states that we distribute in. From there, you guys are able to buy it and enjoy it, and then you keep doing that, and then we get to do cool stuff with your money. We're building a hotel across the street over here. Pretty crazy. That'll be done in about 2 years. It's going to be a boutique-style hotel with 48 rooms. That'll have a barrel aging room, event space. Pretty crazy. We're building a beer hotel. Yeah, that's happening. So, you know, that's what we're up to. Lots and lots of growth, lots and lots of beer, but it's working out so far for us. So we're not slowing down at all. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If there's any other questions, you know, let me know. All right, I kind of figured that would happen. All right, so go ahead and take out those passes that you showed me on your way in. If you've been carded in the last 10 years, go ahead and have your ID ready as well. We're gonna head out, get a couple beers. You all get to enjoy 4 beers. You get Stone Levitation Ale, Stone IPA, Arrogant Bastard Ale, and Oak's Arrogant Bastard Ale. And those are all going up in bitterness and alcohol. The color is going to change. We do not make light beer, so if you don't like one of them and you ask us for a light beer, we're going to tell you the first one that you had that you thought was too bitter was our lightest beer. Sorry. So that's kind of how we roll. So you get those 4 beers, you only get 1 glass, so hang on to that glass until you're all done with it. When you've had all 4 beers, let us know. We'll rinse that glass out for you and send you home with it. You get to keep that glass. That is yours. So those beers, all going up with bitterness and alcohol. When you need your next beer, just come up, let us know what number you're on. We'll be glad to pour that next beer for you. When you get that first beer, please make room for everybody else to come in and do the same. Feel free to take a sip of that beer, but don't chug it. Save some of that beer in that glass. We're all going to do a really, really big cheers together to cement our newfound friendship in beer. If you don't want to do that without beer in your glass, that would be really silly. So don't do that. After we do our cheers, you guys are free to drink at whatever pace suits your lifestyle. We'll head out the same exact way that we came in, get some beers and hang out. And if you were shy and didn't want to ask me a question because we're in a large group, I'm here for you. Let me know. I'll be out there hanging out with you guys.